What's going on, guys? This is Travesty here, and today we have week 1 of the Pokemon Premier League. We're repping the OG Canberra Two Cannons shirt back from many years ago, and we will be facing none other than Ellie. So check out her links in the description. Like I said in my draft analysis, she is one of the most hilarious people in draft. Cannot recommend her content enough. She has genuinely made me like spit out my drink sometimes while listening to her commentary, so highly recommend. And she's a good friend. She's in the council. She's helped us with some drafting and building and stuff before. And she's spooky. She's got a Gen 9 chip to her name already. I think at least one. Definitely at least one. I think maybe more as well. And a true veteran of Pokemon and Draft League. So we've really got our work cut out for us. And she's got a pretty spooky team, lots of big offensive threats, headlining with Garchomp and Greninja, and then a Terra, Thundy T, and I know Ellie loves to hazard stack as well. And our team can be hazard stacked against. Our only spinner really is Torkoal. We do have a Pineco, but you know, it's a Pineco. It's not a reliable spinner. It might be able to get off a Custap Rapid Spin at some point, but it's not reliable. So, and Torkoal has an absolutely booty matchup here. There's like a thick, fat Hariyama that can deal with it. There's Greninja and Garchomp that switch in. There's a Torracat. There's a lot of stuff that just like doesn't really worry too much about Torkoal, and then stuff that hits it really hard. So, spoilers, we're not bringing Torkoal. You can see that on the side. And so I am a little bit worried about that hazard stack, but I'm hoping to just basically apply enough offensive pressure that she doesn't get the opportunity. So yeah, I'll be showing up her full team on screen now. So I've talked about the main threats that I think are coming. There's also an Ogerpon Cornerstone, which is really spooky. So what I've decided to bring into Ellie is a Terra Psychic Spadef booster sub bulk up Slitherwing. So running Zen Headbutt with Leech Life. That coverage is pretty good across her team for neutral damage at least, and then sub bulk up to get those boosts going. We got a little bit of EVs all around, but mostly Spadef and HP. The idea of this thing is it can't really be a win condition in this game. There's too many things that like take a hit. For example, there's a sturdy Ogerpon, or like we can't Oko things like Thunderous Theory unless we get to +2, etc. But it can just break, and it can set up on things like the Galarian Weezing or the Metagross, particularly after that booster energy procs. We're not going to be weak to knockoff anymore, as in it'll be like a low base power move, even if we are weak to it. And Terra Psychic is just good neutral coverage into a lot of things, and allows us to hit things like the Galarian Weezing a little bit harder, and I don't think she'll bring a lot of coverage to hit a Psychic type. Like, I thought about going something like Terra Fairy, but it's more likely that things running Poison Jab for Primarina, and so that would hit this harder. I thought about going like Terra Bug to just power up the Leech Lives, but then there's Ogerpon Cornerstone, or Terra Fire, but then I'm weak to ground. Like, there are lots of options that I considered, but that weren't great into something else, and Terra Psychic is kind of good neutral across the board, which means we should be able to basically set up on something like the Weezing, live 2 hits from anything, and KO it in return. If, depending on what she goes out into, could even Leech Life ourselves back up to health, potentially get 2 or 3 KOs. With this thing, so it's unlikely to sweep, but it's very likely to put in a good amount of work. Then we have a Choice Scarfed Primarina. So Scarf Prim can guaranteed outspeed Ogerpon Cornerstone and below, so the only thing on her team that it won't outspeed is Greninja, unless they're Scarfed. But then I've crept up in case she's running a Greninja that's like creeping by Roaring Moon, creeping Ogerpon kind of thing. This Primarina should outspeed that. So if it's just creeping Roaring Moon, we won't outspeed it, but if it's like doing a creep of a creep, then we will, because the extra HP EVs didn't really help anywhere else. And so might as well put him into speed, and that might pay off. If we can outspeed it before it gets off a like Protean Gunk Shot, then we KO it with Moonblast. This is pretty straightforward. Flip turn for initiative, Shadow Ball, because her best switch into this is like an AV Metagross, and then just click Moonblast like against everything else. If Weezing comes, then I might have to click Surf occasionally. Thought about running Psychic Noise for it, but Surf 2 it KOs like a Spadef Weezing anyway. So it's not a great switch into this. So it'll just be clicking Moonblast most of the time. Like a Terra Steel Hariyama could also be an option, but I do think that Terra is going to be used on the Thundy T primarily, probably Ice, Water, or Flying to hit my electric resists and immunities. We're bringing 2 Scarfers this week, so next up is a Choice Scarfed Roaring Moon. I'll show the held items, because why not, and the moves. So Choice Scarf, Roaring Moon, Jaws the Roaring Moon. We're going Adamant, because we know that Ogerpon can't be Choice Scarfed, and so given we're Scarf, we guaranteed outspeed anyway, unless it gets the Trailblaze off, and I don't think it really safely can against this team. And then, so we only need to be creeping the Garchomp. So we are speed creeping a +1 Garchomp here, which will outspeed everything else on Ellie's team, barring, Scarf Greninja. And then pretty good coverage just into everything. Dragon Claw is pretty good neutral coverage. We've got Zen Headbutt to hit the Galarian Weezing, but also the Hariyama on switch in, because Hariyama could be a switch into a knockoff. And so I preferred that over running like Iron Head, even though it can miss. U-turn just for initiative, knockoff for knockoff. It's a pretty bog standard Roaring Moon this week, but doesn't mean it can't put in a ton of work. Next up, we have a very physically defensive, almost max Fizz Def, I think, Golden Go. Primarily for the Ogerpon, but also as a reasonable check to like Metagross and Hariyama, running the Culber Berries. So I'm not expecting her to bring Stomping Tantrum on the Ogerpon. I think it's more likely to be knockoff. And so with that Culber Berry, she'll be able to take a +2 knockoff, get off a Thunder Wave, then Shadow Ball, Make It Rain, handle it that way if it gets out of hand. Shadow Ball and Make It Rain is just good into everything. Thunder Wave, in case she tries to get cheeky and switch into like Greninja, which would resist the hits, then we Thunder Wave it and we just neutralize it. Also just good for like Ogerpon or slowing things down in general if like Braviary is becoming a problem, etc. We're not running a ton of speed on this thing either, and then yeah, just Dual Stab hits reasonably hard. Next up, we have our other Terra Captain, which is an Air Balloon Iron Thorns with the Terra Steel. So this, if I end up not Terroring on Slitherwing, that's the other reason I'm running Zen Headbutt over Terra Blast on that thing, is so that I can afford to not Terra, depending on what I'm setting up on. And then I can save my Terra for this thing. I'll most likely be Terraing Slitherwing, but just in case, I have gone Terra Steel on this. With the Air Balloon, it basically hard walls Garchomp. And then even if I don't Terra Steel, we live a Scale Shot, a 5-hit Scale Shot comfortably, and can OHKO with Ice Punch. So unless I let it like set up a lot on me, we should be fine. And given my 2 Scarfers, I mean, Golden Go is kind of the only thing it could set up on, which is a little bit of a problem, but we have 2 Scarfers to try and pressure it. So we're running no Stab. I guess technically Heavy Slam is Stab, but these moves actually hit harder than my Stab moves into most things, because like Thunder T is probably going to Terra anyway, and so Ice Punch is kind of safer than going for like a Rock move and then they bring Terra Ground and then I'm in a bad spot. And we needed Ice Punch for the Garchomp, and then yeah, the coverage just is what it is. This thing can kind of sweep. I'm more expecting it to be like in a late game situation, get up a single Dragonite to then outspeed something and kill it the following turn. We take a hit from pretty much all the physical threats, just maybe not something like the Thunder T running a super effective Terra Blast or the Greninja. And then last we have Missing Limbs, the Landorus, running pretty standard Sheer Force Life Orb here, but we are mixed, so running investment on both sides with Rock Slide, Earth Power, Psychic, and Stealth Rock. I debated Earth Power versus Earthquake so many times, because if it's like AV Hariyama, we'd rather have Earthquake, but if it's not AV, we'd rather have Earth Power. Same thing for Metagross. And I knew I wanted at least Rock Slide on the physical side to hit that Thunder T on switch in, because that's her primary ground switch in. She could bring Levitate on the Galarian Weezing, but then Psychic just wipes that thing off the face of the earth. Psychic's also good for potential Hariyama switch in. And then other than that, it's just basically click Earth Power. Like, Braviary can switch in on Earth Power, but it's not going to appreciate the other moves. And then, yeah, Thunder T gets OHKO'd by Rock Slide. And we can always switch up moves as well, and then just Stealth Rock. I didn't really feel like I needed any other coverage. I could run like Sludge Wave, but I would be really banking on a Terra Fairy, because obviously it doesn't hit the Galarian Weezing particularly hard, and it hits Ogerpon neutral as well, so there's no point. So we've got Rocks there in case we want to get Rocks up. So like I said, I'm expecting Ellie to bring probably Hazard Stack. and I'm not particularly expecting like Tatsugiri, Sableye, Solosis, or Torracat. Those are the 4 I've kind of ruled out, but anything else, there are options that she could bring. Like an SD Scale Shot Garchomp looks spooky. I'm expecting like T-Spikes, Protein, Greninja potentially, and then that Thundy T is definitely the biggest threat. There's a few different Terra options it could run. I think the most likely is probably Terra Flying with Focus Blast, because that should still clean up everything that it needs to. But depends on if she feels like risking the miss or not. And then, yeah, expecting at least 1 AV Mon to try and handle Prim, but there's a few options you could bring, and like Bulk Up Braviary is scary as well. So hopefully we've got the team to handle it. I'll be battling in a few hours. I am unfortunately a little bit sick, but I'm going to take some sick-ass drugs before and see if that gives me enough brain power to handle a battle. So when I cut back, we'll be ready. We are back here with the battle. So we are always going to lead with Roaring Moon, because U-Turn has a good chance to kill Greninja depending on its investment. I wouldn't be surprised if she ran Focus Sash or enough investment to live a U-Turn, but we are adamant, so maybe she didn't run enough for that. In terms of her team, she's got Terra Water Hariyama and Terra Flying Thundy T. So the Flying Thundy T, somewhat expected. I thought like Fairy Hariyama to be able to switch in consistently to Moon, but Water also makes sense. It doesn't... I mean, it might be like AV Terra Water to take hits from Primarina. Ugh. So we'll see. Good luck, have fun to Ellie. Like I said, check her out in the description. Super funny battler, and really good as well. So very spooky opponent. Apologies, by the way, if you hear any sniffing or coughing. I'm sick. Super fun. Great way to start the league with a fucking illness. Nieces, am I right? Gotta go fast in the... Okay. Fresh Rhymes, that's gonna be the Oak Pawn. Yeah, I think I just click U-turn. If it reveals Spike Shield, it reveals Spike Shield. If it reveals Spikes, it reveals Spikes. We'll just U-turn on this. We know we outspeed it for sure. If she stays in, we'll get like 70-ish% off, assuming this is like max attack. Ooh, I should put my health bar on. I got rid of that for the... There's a spiky shield. Oh, cool. Expected that for the first impression, but had no reason to overpredict. That means it either lacks coverage or setup, so not too worried. We'll take that chip. On the Roaring Moon, it's not really switching into a lot anyway. So if I have to guess, I'd say the Wheezing comes in here, and we go straight into Slitherwing on that every single time. It's our best opportunity to set up on this team. Maybe Hariyama, depending on its set. Okay, she does stay in. That is a crit. Cool, so we can't tell anything about the investment from that, I don't think. Yeah, I just go into Golden Go every time here. I'm expecting like spikes. So she will get 2 layers if that's what she wants to go for. She just goes for U-turn, cool. Okay, that crit potentially matters, because Ogerpon is now at literally 1 HP. I don't know what investment she had. We would have brought it down to like 25-ish, so it wouldn't have been a great switch into a lot of things, but sort of, you know, been able to switch in on something maybe. Also, shout-outs to tea, green tea and honey, keeping the voice silky smooth while I cough up half a lung every other sentence. Looks like it's probably max. If you're like max HP, would we still bring you down to sturdy? No, yeah, so I'm probably not very bulk invested. I'll see what the damage looks like on Golden Go. Gym Classic, that's this thing. So it got me down to 358 with a U-turn. That's 17. Yeah, that looks like just max. Or at least max attack, jolly. Now, I don't have a fantastic switch into this. And I think I would rather Thunderwave it if I can. Because we'll burn the Kolba. She just goes for U-turn, it is Protean. Sick. So we'll get a T-Wave off on something. We'll take very little damage. Don't see Life Orb proc. We're at 358. So we'll see what this brings us down to. And if we can scout anything on investment from that, if it's like a minus attack nature or something. She could go Thundy, which would be not great. The fact that I'm staying in means she's probably expecting either Thunderbolt or Thunderwave. Garchomp, okay. That's also valid on a T-Wave. So that's going to be another 19 damage with a Protean U-turn. That looks attack invested. Like heavily attack invested. So it might even be physical. Speaking of things we don't have great switch-ins to. I kind of want to go hard Prim. Because we will take an Earthquake. We won't love it, but we'll take it. So I think that's what I'm going to do. There's no point sacking, like, oh, she doubles. What are you doubling into? Sus Tail. It's going to be the Thundy. Yeah. That's a good play. Good double. Well, we don't risk staying in on this thing. If I had to guess, it's going to go for U-turn. But it could just agility right here. How do I want to deal with this? I basically have to sack something if it agilities. So what do I need the least? I think it's probably Golden Go. Because we just need to get a hit off and then we can get safely into... Particularly if she's Terra Flying, Make It Rain will do a good chunk. But I'm expecting, full on expecting an agility. If she goes for Thunderbolt, she goes Thunderbolt. We're sacking off Golden Go here. It's a really solid couple of plays. This is why Ellie is so scary. She's not afraid to go super aggressive. Like, just raw Terra Blast. That looks like a god prediction. I don't know what that was expecting. But I'll take it. I mean, we'll be able to tell if this thing is choice. She doesn't have a great switch into a Shadow Ball, so that's what I'm going to go for. Like, Thunderbolt will hurt a lot. But it shouldn't take us out from this range. Even if it's a modest Life Orb. Okay, so it switches, so... Maybe... Specs? Question mark. Goes back into the Garchomp. You just get off the Shadow Ball here. That does nothing. I mean, we're not invested, but that does literally nothing. Yeah, that's really bulky Chomp to do less than 25. That's potentially Assault Vest Chomp. Yeah, I reckon that's AV. Okay, so that means it's not set up. That helps a little bit. So how much is Prim then doing with a Scarf Moonblast? I mean, it's still a roll to kill, but it's not great. But it will take hits from like Landorus or this is my other switch in. If it burns the balloon by going for like poison jab, that's not great. So I think I go Prim here and try and catch it out with the Scarf Moonblast. If we do see Earthquake, I'll be very sad I didn't make the play, but I think it's better to preserve that. Yeah, we should live. I don't fuck around, I click Moonblast. You don't have a switch into this. Like, this should live. It looks like a roll in her favor. Because it looks like we low-rolled the Shadow Ball, unless she has some Spadefil HP investment. But she won't expect the Choice Scarf. Actually, are we in Torrent range right now? Should I have gone for... We are in Torrent range, but Moonblast still does way more. It's super effective, obviously. And she's going to see that this is very offensive. Like, we have almost no investment, so she might predict the Scarf and go out into, like, Wheezing. Okay, we do just get this hit off. Doesn't kill. She's going to finish it off with the Earthquake. That's fine. So, knowing that, I could go into this and start setting up. What realistically stops me is Hariyama, so I think I need more damage on the Yama before I do that. But Hariyama's also the best thing to stop this. I mean, I think Roaring Moon is the play. It's guaranteed to outspeed, there's no way this is not AV. Based on just everything it's done. And we can just U-turn here. She doesn't know we're Scarfed, but it just makes it easier. We'll take Ruskin, but that's a bit of whatever. I was really hoping she'd bring in the Wheezing on my Moon and give me free initiative into the Slitherwing. It's like ideal situation here. Because at the moment we're not applying a ton of pressure back. She just lets us take this thing. Solid showing from Garchomp. If it hadn't been AV, that Moonblast would have just killed. Would have been fantastic. But it's Scooby-Dooby-Doo, what it doobie, Scooby-Doopy. I think my play here is to go into Golden Go. Because it's the least useful Mon, so I'm pretty happy to just leave it in and take damage. It'll handle the Ogerpon fine. Thundy looks like it might be Scarfed or Specs, so it might be forced to lock into a move. Obviously we don't let the Wheezing in at all like this, so it's probably going to be the Yama, which is the other thing that's stopping Iron Thorns from setting up. Which it could set up on like a Specs Thundy, or a Scarf Thundy. A choice to Thundy, I should say. Me IRL, which is going to be the Wheezing. I don't know why I said Wheezing. Hariyama. So we're going to do the square root of not a lot to this. Terra Water. So Make It Rain does do more, but I think I Shadow Ball because we just need to chip this thing down progressively. She switches into the Thundy. I'm not sure what she was expecting there, but we get some chip off on this thing. So that's got some bulk too. That's got some serious bulk. Maybe she's expecting the T-Wave again. Because that only did, let's see, that's 30, 35. So it's got like a fair bit of HP or Spadef. I am just going to Shadow Ball, see what she goes for. There's just the Volt Switch, that's fine. Does a lot. Okay, that did a lot. That looks like it's probably Specs then. Let's see, we're at like 318-ish. How much should we do to this Hariyama? Nada. That is AV as hell, my dude. That's looking like Specs Volt Switch, I think. Let's see. Oh, I only did like 170 actually. Yeah, it's actually looking more like Scarf. Good to know. I mean, I think you're saving your Terra for a Scarf flying move sweep. So I'm actually going to click. That did literally 0. That did like 17%. So even max HP Assault Vest takes more than that. So I'm just going to click Make It Rain. We'll probably go down here. It does nothing. Goes for the Earthquake. Takes us out. That's fine. Now this thing is lowered. And we know it's like Spadef AV. Which means it can't be like Adamant Max Attack. Can we tell anything from that Earthquake? Probably not. Yeah, not really. Even like no attack investment would have killed there. So, Slitherwing. Zen Headbutt does a lot. If we Terra, it should KO. And you shouldn't be able to do a lot to me. So I'm going to bulk up once. Yeah, even if you're max HP. Do I sub? Because if she's not got a lot of attack and she's not sheer force, we potentially... I think my players bulk up then sub still. Don't Terra bulk up, then Terra sub. She switches out. Fresh Rhymes. Is that the Ogerpon? Yeah. So we're now at +1. So Cudgel should not 2-hit KO. I think you just Cudgel. I don't think you can afford to Spiky Shield right here. I'm just going to Leech Life for the 1 HP. If she Spiky Shields and I get up... Yeah, she just goes to Cudgel. We're going to say she Spiky Shield if I got up... Oh, you fucking kidding me? Okay. That's really annoying. That's a really impactful crit. Because now we're revenged by everything, whereas it would have been well above half. That sucks, man. That actually sucks. This was like a big win con for me. So that's actually really rough. That might be game. Like, yeah, max it did if it was max attack Jolly was 47%. Damn it. So now she can choose what she wants to revenge this with. We know it's Protein Greninja, so... Question is, what is the Weezing supposed to be doing here, if not to check this thing? That's so annoying. That's so annoying, because now we die to Thundy. Yeah, see, if we'd been above half, even Specs wouldn't have killed us. So there's no point wasting my Terror on this now. Because we're just going to die to like a Volt Switch. Yeah. Hariyama KOs Golden Go. I mean, it is a high crit move, so in comes this thing. It's the only thing we outspeed it with. Okay. Focus up. Let's go. It's not over. Oh, she's scarfed. We do live. But we die if it's something... So we need... That did a lot. I think this is game. Because if this thing is Rocky Helmet, then we just die to this, and that would suck. Okay, it's not Helmet, so at least keep our Scarf Roaring Moon in the back. Didn't see Neutralizing Gas proc. I think we now need, 2 Dragon Dances on Thorns. Would that even be enough for a Scarf Greninja? Probably not. Yeah, even +2, we won't outspeed. Damn. So Scarf Greninja just cleans up at this point. So... I think we're going to go Lando here. Because Psychic should still blow this thing out of the sky. That crit's super unfortunate, man. That crit doesn't happen. Nothing on her team kills it, and we get another kill. Like... That's so rough. Because then we're in a much stronger position than she is. Like, she's forced to go into Thundy Volt Switch. I probably predict that. Or at least I kill something. You know, I just give myself more resources. Because at the moment, like, Iron Thorns might be able to clean up. But it needs to get to plus a lot to handle Greninja. She switches. If this goes into Greninja, I swear to God. She just predict the Psychic. God damn it. I'm getting played, bro. Alright. I don't particularly need this thing. So I'm gonna go for Rock Slide in case this has Ice Beam. We at least know it's choice locked into whatever it goes for. Cool. So it locks into Ice Beam. The question is just how much do we do to Hariyama? And the answer is probably not enough. +1 EQ will do a lot. We know it's got Spadef investment. But I have to get to +3 to outspeed this thing. Oh, I should have Terra'd. I should have Terra'd. That was... If she Ice Beams here, I should have Terra'd 100%. It's an Ice type, so Heavy Slam would just kill. She switches out, so we're not punished. Never punished. Spoon's toilet, in comes the wheezing. Now is when we really wanted sub on this thing. So we're at +1 attack. A Terra Steel Heavy Slam will just kill this thing even if it's fully Fizz Death. And then I think we lose to... So the thing is, if this has like Willow, which it probably does. But I need to get to +3 for the Greninja anyway. And then that would give me enough attack. I think that's my play. Like, if I was playing for differential, I'd just KO this thing right now with Heavy Slam. But I think, because it's likely Scarf Thunderous as well, so you need to at least get to +2. Which we'll do right now. And just hope she misses a Willow, I guess. There's Overheat. You're going to be Eject Pack. As long as it's not Eject Pack, we're okay. Yeah, there it is. That's it. Set I expected. If we hadn't Terra'd, they would have been in a great position. Because now I suspect we die. Oh, there's a Hariyama. I mean, a +2 EQ should take this out, but it just means we can't set up again. I think she knows her win con. Greninja gets low kick, doesn't it? Because that will kill us easy peasy. Yeah, it does. So she's got low kick on Greninja, which she might. Let's see, it's revealed U-turn, Ice Beam, probably a poison move. She switches. I don't know if she's just playing for differential. This feels like I'm getting absolutely predicted, and I don't like it. Like, I have to Ice Punch here and hope that you're not Scarfed, but I'm 99.9% sure you are. But, like, I don't have another win con. Because I just simply don't think we outspeed even at +2. If you're max speed timid, we should actually. We should outspeed at +2, so I'm going to Ice Punch. Okay, and then Greninja comes in and cleans up, potentially. Thundy dies to Thorns. In comes this thing. We can't set up again, so I just Heavy Slam. Revealing that we don't have Stab, which means Greninja's probably chill. I mean, it's Scarf Greninja, it outspeeds us. So it's just whether it does enough damage. Which it probably will. If it's just got like Waterfall. It might not. Chat. Chat, did we... Is Iron Thorns gonna sweep? This might. Iron Thorns might sweep. In comes the Greninja, so she has to, if she has Bullet Punch on Hariyama, that's the win con I think here. I think we always click EQ. Goes for U-turn. Interesting. So she's trying to put me in damage of something with Greninja here. And so she's sacking everything else. Because Yama dies here. So now it just comes down to what is this Greninja's moveset and investment, because she clearly doesn't have low kick, because that would have just killed straight up. So if you're Protean Choice Scarf, Dark Pulse would kill from here if she's like got some special attack. So I think she's still got it because Roaring Moon is so low. Yeah, goes for Dark Pulse. So I think she played out that endgame. But the fact that it was that close means that crit's super mattered, because just a few more resources on my end. Well, Thorns did a thing. There's no shot you live this, is there, Roaring Moon? Yeah, Dark Pulse doesn't do a lot, but it does more than 21. Let me just click U-turn. GG's to Ellie. The Scarf Greninja was really good prep. That crit is still so unfortunate. I'm really sad about that. Mostly because I think the Slitherwing set was couldn't do work because of that crit, whereas otherwise it really put pressure on things. Like, we kill the Ogerpon, we're at above half, we basically get a guaranteed KO on something else at that point. And that opens up the room for something like the Iron Thorns to sweep later. I probably should have worried about the Scarf Greninja on my Roaring Moon, but it is what it is. And then potentially not terroring on the Iron Thorns on the Overheat could have also actually won us that game. Now that I think about it, we didn't need terror. Well, that was close though. What a way to start. GG's to Ellie, check her out in the description, and I'll see you guys next week for the next battle.